day and welcome to the Power Up. I'm your host, Tami Hill Thomas. So glad that you're joining us as we get equipped, empowered, elevated, and educated together. Come on, let's get started with some updates that's going on in our national and global news. Important that we make sure we're always aware for those hurricane seasons and those weather alerts that are happening in our areas. Very often we are caught off guard and we're then struggling to try to figure out what to do in an emergency situation. We want to remind you of how important it is that you stay aware and educated so you can help those in your family, neighbors, all that you touch. So consider what you have that alerts you when weather is happening in your area. The reason this is a high alert is because we witnessed recently a horrible flooding that took place within minutes in a small town in the state of Texas. The flooding alert system worked a little. From what folks say, they heard it, but by the time they heard it, it was already too late. So, what do you need to do to make sure that you stay aware? First, make sure that you put yourself in your local cities and counties weather alert systems. Should be pretty easy. All you have to do is go to your city's homepage, the city of, or the town of. Scroll to the bottom or go to contact us and ask someone how you can get connected to their weather alert system. That way it comes straight to your phone. Any warnings from the National Weather Service, anything you need to be educated with and just aware of comes to the palm of your hand. Certainly, there's the old school meteorologists that folks watch when they watch the news. But when you're on the go and you're doing your regular normal, right? You're picking up the kids or you're at work or whatever's happening, you might notice that dark cloud in the distance and not think two times about it. But an alert can help you to stay prepared, to know you need to consider getting home to mama, making sure that you have her emergency bag that has the list of medications in them, making sure you can get home to your pet. The flooding that happened in Texas was a real alert because there were people walking their babies on the sidewalk with the strollers, playing in parks that were just along the riverbed. If you're like me, I love the water. So I love to do my little walking along the water, or I love to go have a picnic day, right? That's what people were doing, their regular activities. There were even some who did what many people dream of, purchase their homes near the water. Well, when the flooding came in as fast as it did, it literally swept away people. These are our brothers and sisters. Just because they're in another state doesn't make them less part of the human race and important. The water rose so quickly. The storms came in so fast that even those who ran into their homes and then ran upstairs, the water exceeded the rooftop. What would you do? Do you know when you're driving and you see water that they say be careful because if you proceed to try to force yourself to drive, you could stall in the middle and then now you have to be rescued. What do you know about your town, your area? Is it in a riverbed? Is it near mountainous terrain? Do you know that this road is the one to go up? If there's something that happens, you and your family, you make a decision. We're going to pack up. We're going to pick up auntie and we're going to head to higher ground. What do you know so that you can not just save your life, but the lives of many around you? Family, come on and stay educated. Connect with your local alert system so you are aware. Make sure you have your emergency bag, that emergency kit that you would have a gym bag if you were going to the gym that had your change of clothes, your water bottle, all the stuff you need, your headband and everything else, right? Or if you go to the gym first thing in the morning, you have your change of clothes with everything that you need so you can hurry up and refresh and shower and get to work. If you were going on a trip, you would have that suitcase or that bag packed with your essentials. Pack an emergency bag. Make sure it's something you can easily grab and go. Oftentimes, hearing and moving first is what helps to save lives. The folks who decide they're going to stay and tough out hurricanes, for example, they know the risk that they're taking. Many of them, oh, we've seen hurricanes all the time, especially if they live in high hurricane areas. Okay, they understand the risks, but there are also some that they know when now it's time to go. So they're prepared to already know we're going up north, or we're going to go east, or we're going to go west. We're going to this person's location. We have our meetup, right? Think about it when you were in elementary school. When we had fire drills in elementary school, we knew everybody's going to grab the hand of your buddy. When the fire alarm goes off, we're all going to walk in an orderly fashion, and we're going to meet here, whether it was over at the playground or on the corner, or if we were even crossing the street to be away from the property. We went through those drills as kids. Why? Because emergency preparedness is important. And emergencies happen whether we like them or not. So if you could be planned to help you and yours, isn't that worth it? Isn't it worth doing whatever you can to be the superhero in your life, right? To be able to share the tips for what you need in an emergency, how to prepare, and make sure that those around you have the same information. What do you need? Well, let me help you with just a few. You want to create a communication plan. You want to prepare your home. You want to assemble those basic emergency kits. First, communication plan. A communication plan is knowing if you don't hear from baby girl at a certain time and she can't reach you, who is she calling? You know she's safe. If she's not home, she's to go to this person's house. Or you all have your meetup location that my sister and I, we're going to make sure our kids and we all meet up here. We're going to go to mama's house. That way we're all together, and whatever we need to do there, we can move mama. Have a communication plan. Who is the one that's going to make sure to text or the phone call, right? This is what's happening. Make sure you're prepared. There's a storm on the way. And then prepare your home. If everyone is coming to your home, are you prepared with a case of water just for the basic essentials? Let's say something happens with electricity. Do you have those basic solar powered equipment that can help you? The little radio with the crank, or even the solar powered battery that connects with your phone. So if electricity goes out, the sun can help make sure you're connected. Do you have blankets, and do you have snack bars and things that can help you if a food supply runs low? This isn't meant to be adding anxiety to your life today. This is just meant to elevate us. Okay? Better prepared. What do they say? It's better safe than sorry. Now everybody's running, you're running to higher ground, but you don't have any food. And just those good granola bars in your bag that last forever could have helped to make sure that you were getting nourishment while you were getting to the next town for safety, or while you were coordinating what to do where. Think about easy things, family, because potential hazards include securing your property. People who have decks and you have pools, when you know bad weather is coming, the first thing the weatherman says is take everything inside. Otherwise, it's going to lift up from your house, and it might not hurt your property, but it can sure go through the window of another homeowner. So they say bring your pets inside, bring your plants inside. Do whatever you need to do to secure your property. That includes lawn chairs. When the storms are coming, they go in the shed, or they go in the back, or they all just even get easily strapped so they don't lift and fly away, right? Because again, you're not just caring for you, you're caring for your neighbors. Essential supplies at hand. At least a 3-day supply is what's recommended by emergency response professionals. Making sure you have at least 3 days of food, 3 days of water, 3 days of medication. Put aside, not in what you're taking every day, in a container for an emergency inhaler. If you know, breathing is something that's important. So when you go to see your doctor, tell them that you'd like to prepare an emergency kit with an inhaler. Could they put in an extra prescription? Most will say yes. For preparation, absolutely. Make sure that as you're monitoring alerts, that you have a contact list, an emergency contact list, especially when you have those larger families, right? Who is the one that's going to call this side, and who is the one that's going to call that side, and who is the one that's going to make sure that as we're getting ready to talk to, okay, baby girl, as you're getting ready to go to school, unplug all the appliances, because what you also don't want is an electrical surge to blow out everything. And then, of course, emergency preparedness means preparing for cold weather and hot weather. So you want to have whatever you need for those extreme temperatures, those emergency blankets, okay, the change of clothes, that extra coat, especially for the little people. And here's just a few tips for some emergency kits. Water is always number one. Number one, keep bottled water. Sometimes you ever been in a position where you turn on your sink and the water's brown? For no reason, you have no idea, you don't know what's going on, but that's also out of your control. What is in your control is having bottled water so the babies can brush their teeth with it. And yes, be able to drink with it. Or even if you have a little stove or whatever you need, cook with it. So always water. First aid kit. Someone falls and bumps themselves and you can't get into the hospital right now, or you're too far away from one. You yourself can be educated in CPR so you can be that superhero. And how to at least bandage something, wrap something so that you can help compress it enough so the bleeding will stop. Just basic things. You want to have alcohol rubs and swabs, right? That you can clean it off where it can be wrapped so there's not dirt and bugs and stuff packed into it. You want to have sanitizers, things like that, right? Whatever feel that you might need. This segment is really meant to help you prepare. It's really meant to make sure to remind you that you have the power to be the difference maker to so many loved ones, to so many that you deal with on a regular basis. A regular basis, family. Your folks. And yes, yourself. So the same way you're taking care of Auntie and all of them, you have to take care of you. Oh, yes. You have to ensure that you're still able to move, maneuver, and handle what's important in your world. So let's not minimize how much emergency preparedness matters. In fact, this segment is to remind you that you are the one, the X factor, the important person that can communicate a lot of these tips with folks. Next time you're in a book club, have an emergency preparedness discussion. And there are books about it. You could make it the source to educate others. If you're a coach, come on, if you know the storms are coming, remind the kids. Print out an emergency list. Pass them out. If you work in your church, if you're part of a civic association, knowledge is power. You're the one that can pass that knowledge. Family, we hope learning from, watching our family in Texas, as our hearts are broken for them. 140 people. 140 people. They said amongst those who were deceased were girls who were at a summer camp. The water just swept away the campers, the counselors, everybody that was part of that troop. We have to do what we have to do to lift each other up, to support each other in the hard times, and then learn from them. so we can be better. While we're talking about discussing and speaking of emergency preparedness, I want to take this moment to respond to an emergency to a question we received from a viewer who actually is on this very topic, but little different twist to it. So she asked the question. This is Tammy terms, pretty long email. She was asking, in relationships, when emergencies arise, what do we recommend? Now, in her scenario, she has an ex-husband. She's currently married. The ex and she have children. So her question was more on relationship. Should she run to the ex's house if the baby's over there? Should she trust him to take care? What should she do? I love questions like this because, first of all, it acknowledges that co-parenting is important. It acknowledges that when he's over there, I have to let dad be dad or mom be mom. I don't know the race or sex of the viewer, but you have to allow that. But you can also, as a proud parent, dialogue with the other parent about emergency preparedness, right? Everything we just ran through. Give them the list of medications. Make sure they're aware of what your child takes or what friends they have around. Converse with the friends' parents and say, listen, I know that Bobby's always over with Johnny, and while they're friends and they're always sleeping over his house, my house, wherever they're going, we just want to make sure if an emergency arises, we know what medications they're taking. Knowledge, family, communication, that becomes part of your plan. Speaking to your ex about, all right, this is what we're going to do. If he's with me, the child, if the children's with me and an emergency rises, we're going to my mom's. If an emergency rises at your house and you have to vacate because they're talking about a hurricane coming, where are you taking the kids? Just need to know. Yes, it's going to make me want to go there too because I just need to hug on my babies, but at least I know where they are. I can feel a level of safety. It's totally okay to feel what you feel, right? Like, let me just be very clear, mom. I was one of those over the top moms. All of my children will say I was a crazy mom. I was the one, I needed to see everything, talk to everybody. I wasn't leaving you unless I knew who you were with. I was that mom. And I was overprotective, but it's in me to do that. Those were my cubs. And even now that they're older and I have grandbabies, it doesn't turn off. It doesn't go away. Those still came out of me. And now my grandbabies are my precious sweet peas. So now there's just another level, but it doesn't turn off. So safety is always number one, right? We're protectors. We're the nurturers. We're the ones whose job it is to care for. So what do? Be honest with your ex. Be honest with your spouse. Have a communication plan. Have an emergency preparedness kit at their house and at your house. And if necessary, keep one at mama's house. Right? That way there's no confusion. There's no concern. They have the same level of safety if something pops off it and you have little Johnny the same way you would if it happened over there. And that includes when we're on travel, when we're on vacation. You don't have to divulge all the insight, but information. Wouldn't you want to know certain things? So the courtesy that you would want is what you want to display. The courtesy and what you feel is what you want to make sure everybody around you and everybody that touches your sweet peas has as well. Family, it's not that it's forcing anything. Again, it's the utmost, highest respect that we're even having a dialogue about this, that I'm being courteous to you, that I know this is what's happening, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page. How awesome is that? How respectful is that in co-parenting? That I don't have to wonder. right? That my anxiety doesn't have to go up. I'm already going to be nervous and want to make sure that they're okay. But knowing and at least having information can certainly help. Thank you, viewer, for writing that question. I just want to add one more thought. People often get caught up with the ex because of how they became an ex. And oftentimes we put the kids in that. So the kids then draw their own conclusions about their parents. When kids can have the opportunity to learn their parents, to broker their own relationship with their parents, to have the opportunity to know what love with them feels like, contrary to what love with you might have felt like. Not easy. This is grown folk conversation. I remember my parents used to say that all the time. This is grown folk talk. Get out of here. Like an old school, new school. Now we got to explain everything and we bring them into stuff. And that includes drama. Well, your drama adding to a little person who does not have the mental stability and ability to process can add more weight to them than and make them have to choose a side, which is great if they choose yours, right? Adds problems if they don't. So why put that pressure on the baby? Especially when it's for their good. That co-parenting, us doing this together, will help them at least get to 18, and then you two will have your own journey. We're Cohen. And then when they get married, we're there. And then when they have grandbabies, we're there. But X means you have your life, I have mine. The difference with co-parenting is mutual respect and understanding. I want to again say, not easy, not oftentimes perfect. Sometimes takes therapy. Oh, yes. Counseling, right? To process through the what happened, the why. Because we grow through life. We make mistakes through life. We have falls through life, right? Where I am now is not where I was at all, even 10 years ago. And God bless my husband for trying to keep up with me, because where I am now is not where I'm going to be in 10 years. I'm hoping to be that much bigger, better, on purpose, living my life. But there's different stages with each of us. So shouldn't I respect that our past is our past? Whatever failed, whatever was broken, whatever hurt, your fault, my fault, can't be changed. Get the help you need to help get through, so that healing can not just benefit you, but your babies and their babies and their babies. One thing we don't want to pass on as legacy are issues and memories of confusion and fighting. We don't want to pass that on to our kids. We don't want them to say, yeah, I remember this happened every Thanksgiving. And then when they get older, they decide, I don't want to go around Thanksgiving because I remember. This is just Tami sharing thoughts as I work as a coach, as I work as a counselor with folks. I have exes. I do. And it took a lot for me to own my part in it. Because in the hurt, all I saw was because of them. So therapy, counseling, and every now and then when baggage pops up, I'm honest about it and transparent with it. And I don't keep it. I move forward and let it be the past, because I can't change it. And here's the thing. With all that others have done to hurt us, how many people have we hurt? Even those that just walked away hurt and never told you. All because you popped off on them, or you weren't showing them grace. You weren't nice to them in the moment. They needed you and you didn't show up and they were dependent on you. Like, how many times have we hurt people? Have we caused harm? Because we were just, I got to talk to you later. I'm in a hurry. And that dismissiveness has feelings and emotions attached to it. Come on. Y'all tuned into my show. I'm going to give it to you. We are quick to judge. There's something I heard years ago that says there's a reason we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we listen more. So that we pause the space to show kindness and caring. We're intentional about respect and courtesy, right? But that includes those that not just harm us, but as we start to think about that pain, saying a prayer for those that we harmed. Yeah, see, this thing about being a human, you can read all the books you want. They will help you figure out communication. They'll give you skills. You'll connect with people that you see doing great, but you don't see the bottom of the iceberg. You just see how they're living large. Like you get to see and grow from others, but then you have to walk your journey in your shoes, right? You can't take someone else's shoes that look like crystals, right? They're great, and put them on your feet and expect them to be as amazing. You still got to do what's your journey. And sometimes that includes falls. Sometimes that includes saying, I'm sorry. Listen, I popped off too soon. Sometimes that includes that text that says, okay, I just wanted to follow up. I know I said earlier I couldn't talk. I'm so sorry, but there was something going on. Do you have a minute to talk now? You're too important for me to not see what you needed. Like, sometimes it takes little things to help someone feel lifted and seen and heard, because wouldn't you want someone to do that for you? Family, at the Power Up, our job is to equip you to win at life. Our job is to make sure to empower you, because then you'll take that energy, you'll take that electricity and go and empower others around you, who then, what do you think they're going to do with that supercharge? They're going to go empower 10 of their people. Who's going to empower 10 of their people? And all because you just started with one. You. Our words have powers. Our actions, people are watching and they influence. What we wear makes a difference. How we are shoulders back with confidence can help somebody go, wow, yeah, that's okay. I gotta, let me breathe. She didn't pop off. I saw everybody acting up and she just sat there and I gotta learn how to do that in meetings. I have to learn how to compose myself, right? Those type of things people are seeing. So don't take it for granted when folks are around you and intentionally part of your village. Family, be prepared, educated. Find out what you need to do to prepare your family for the unknown circumstance in case of those emergencies, including a communication plan with everybody in your family, everybody essential in your village. And most importantly, remember, we all have to do this together. Figure out how and what works for you, and then keep winning at life. Because when little Johnny sees you winning, sees you respecting his the family member or his parent, he's going to raise his kids the same way, with respect and courtesy. Then their kids are going to see him do it. You got it? Family, we hope this segment was helpful to you. So important that we always stay connected and educated, right? That we always stay inspired, and the force around us starts with us. So important that you're the best you. As always, we thank our first responders and those who run into emergency situations while the rest of us are running away. Our medical professionals, teachers everywhere, whatever you do, keep making a difference.